Traveling solo? So you go to book a cruise, you select one guest, and suddenly the price basically doubles. And you're like, am I bringing an invisible friend I don't know about? Because that's exactly what it feels like. Today, I'm going to give you real strategies that actually work to help you cruise solo without overpaying. Did you know that you do not always have to pay double to cruise solo? After living on cruise ships for over 3 years, we've seen the patterns, the pricing tricks, and the way to completely avoid that painful solo supplement. So I have a few ideas for you that should help you and your wallet. Number 1, look for true solo cabins, not just single pricing. This is your easiest win. Some cruise ships actually have cabins designed for one person. That means that there is no solo supplement, no paying for a second person, and no nonsense. Now, these cabins are usually smaller cabins, but they're designed really well. Let me show you the solo studio here on the Norwegian Cruise Line. They have a ship within a ship feeling just for solos. You get your own private escape, you get the solo lounge, and you even get to be a part of an arranged solo get-together group if you want. Ships like Norwegian are actually amazing if you want a bit of social time without feeling like you're third wheeling someone's anniversary trip. If you want to see the full video about solo cabins and the lounge experience on the Norwegian Luna, I will link it here for you. And I even have a video about its sister ship, the NCL Aqua, where you can see that experience too. Now, everyone talks about Norwegian doing this, and yes, they do it really well, but they are not the only ones anymore. You'll also find solo cabins on select ships with MSC, Holland America, limited but they exist, Celebrity, Cunard, Royal Caribbean, Virgin Voyages. Now, there is a catch. There aren't many of these cabins and they do sell out fast. So if you actually see one of these solo cabins available, don't think about it for a week because it will be gone. Number 2. So there are also quite a few times throughout the year where you will find no solo supplement deals. Did you know that sometimes cruise lines quietly drop the solo supplement altogether? And when those come along, there is usually no big announcement, no flashing sale banner. The price just suddenly looks normal. This usually happens when sailings aren't filling or the dates of the cruise are a little bit off peak season or because the cruise line is getting closer to departure. So instead of sailing with empty cabins, they'd rather fill them even if it's at a lower margin. Translation: this is where solo cruisers win if you're flexible with timing. This is one of the easiest ways to save hundreds of dollars and sometimes more. So for this, you should try looking at deal websites that highlight solo pricing. There are websites that actually filter cruises based on solo-friendly pricing, and one of the best known is Vacations to Go. They literally have a section that shows cruises with reduced or low solo supplements. So instead of clicking into 50 sailings and getting annoyed every single time, you can go straight to the ones that are already discounted for solo travelers. It saves time and maybe even a bit of your sanity. Now for my third point, and this one really is probably my personal favorite tip, as it pretty much applies to anyone who's cruising, and not just specifically solo travelers, and that is repositioning cruises. If you're not looking into repositioning cruises to save money, you're missing out. Repositioning cruises are the sailings where ships move from one region to another, like Europe to North America or Alaska to the Caribbean, because they're harder to sell and because there are way fewer ports to visit. You'll often see lower overall prices, reduced solo supplements, and longer itineraries for less money. And the vibe on a repositioning cruise? Well, I would have to say they are way more relaxed, they have way more sea days, and they're generally with way less chaos. I have a list of repositioning cruise deals that I put together at the beginning of this year, and right now it's 2026, and you should check that out. And if you don't see a deal there, don't worry, because they're always coming up. I also like to post updates on this channel about cruise deals throughout the year. So please be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on potential deals and amazing cruise tips. Okay, now on to my next suggestion, and this is especially true and surprising to solo cruise travelers. Don't assume inside cabins are the cheapest. Yes, you heard me correctly. Let me actually say it again. Don't assume that booking an inside cabin as a solo traveler will save you the most money. This one surprises people every single time. You'd think inside cabin equals the cheapest. But this is not always true for solo cruisers, and I know it sounds illogical. Sometimes the solo supplement is lower on a balcony cabin than on an inside cabin. Yes, it makes no logical sense, but cruise pricing isn't logical. It's based on demand. So occasionally you'll find a balcony costing the same or even less for a solo traveler. And if that happens, take the balcony, sit outside with your coffee, feel like you've beaten the system, because if you end up booking this kind of deal, then you pretty much have beaten the system. Now, another consideration, if you're open to it, there are safe roommate options. Now, you said you don't really want to share, and I totally get that, but I'm including this because some people watching will want the option. There are legit services like mycabinmate.com that match solo cruisers together. And there are also hosted single cruises through sites like Vacations to Go. Let me show you here. They organize full group sailings for solo travelers, and some even match roommates if you want to split the cost. So again, not for everyone, but it's there if you want to cut your cost in half. Now, this brings me to the suggestion that you should use a travel advisor, and I think as long as you have a good one, this point would matter more than you think. I know a lot of people think, I'll just book it myself, it's cheaper, but for solo cruising, that's not often true. Travel advisors can access group pricing, blocked inventory, reduced solo rates, unadvertised deals. Sometimes the price is hundreds of dollars less than what you see online. For the same cruise, the same cabin, less money. Plus, a good one will help with watching for price drops, help you with repricing the cruise, and they will do all the behind the scenes work. And this is so you don't have to obsessively refresh cruise websites at midnight. My next point is all about loyalty to a cruise line. Now, if you've cruised with a line before, log into your account before pricing anything, because sometimes the solo rate you see is actually lower than what the public sees. Some cruise lines reward repeat guests. I have a few favorites that I like who actually start giving you automatic discounts because you sailed with them before. So keep track of your loyalty numbers and sign up for notifications and all of that with your favorite cruise lines, because otherwise you won't be seeing big banners with your name on it. Your loyalty numbers will track you, and the better cruise lines will reflect your discounts right in the quote. And now, timing is everything for solo deals. If you take one thing from this video, it's this. Solo pricing is all about timing. Best windows to watch for your next cruise solo deal? Well, that would be right after major holidays. Look for the shoulder season sailings. finding last-minute sailings, and searching for those repositioning cruises that I just mentioned. Now, this is also where all of those emails that you signed up with your cruise line will help in keeping your travel agent informed of what you want to do, so that everyone is ready for you to book when the time comes. If you pick that right timing to book, well, yes, you could be getting a great deal and not having to pay for a single supplement, or you could be picking the wrong timing to book and suddenly you're paying way too much again. So here's the bottom line. Solo cruising does not have to mean paying double. You just need to know where to look, when to book, and how the system actually works. And once you understand that, you can cruise solo without feeling like you're being financially punished for it. And if this information helped you, even just a little, please hit subscribe. I like to share real cruise tips from actually living this life, not just reading about it. And if you've ever found a great solo deal, please drop it in the comments and let's share these deals with everyone here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.